How's it going, everybody? It's Aaron with Siegfried's Motorworks here on another beautiful Monday morning in central Pennsylvania. I'm going to be taking you guys out for a test ride on one of our latest units we just got in stock. 2005 BMW F650GS. This is an enduro bike, but one of the big claims to fame with these F650GSs is the extremely low seat height. Looks a little bit lifted up here right now, but let me just roll it off the stand. The center stand, I should say. So you can see just how low the seat height is on this thing. Great for beginners, great for guys who just don't want to have the cumbersome factor of having a real tall enduro bike. And then also too, typically these bikes are really popular with female riders solely for the fact that they have a nice low seat height. And even though it is a 650, it is a pretty manageable bike. But at any rate here, let's get this one started up. That way you guys can, that way we can get this one out on the road and show you guys what this one's all about. Definitely a cool bike. You don't see a lot of bikes in this specific color. It's almost silver, almost blue, almost pewter. It's just a really cool color. I can't decide on what color exactly it is. Every time I look at it, I think a little bit something different. It does have the quick detach tour pack in the back. That comes off real easy. That is an OEM BMW added on option. Another thing this one does have on it as a factory edition is the ABS brakes. But yeah, let's take you guys out and show you what this BMW F650GS is all about. As we're going out of the driveway here, just a couple of quick little features about this one. It does also have the factory added on option of heated grips. And these little babies, they get nice and toasty real quick. So those colder days or brisk evenings are no match for the F650GS. Another couple things as we go out the driveway here, we'll go over some quick specs for you guys on this one. These 05 GS, or these 05 F650GSs, they are a single cylinder. They are a single cylinder, fuel injected, liquid cooled, 652cc engine with a 5-speed transmission. That seat height again, 30.7 inches. These have a 4.5 gallon fuel tank when they're making 49.63 horsepower. Sorry, 49.63 horsepower, 44.25 foot-pound of torque, and they have a weight of 425.5 pounds. Now that's no rider, that's not figuring in that tour pack on the back or anything else. I'm actually going to turn these heated grips on here, just so I can give you a sense of how quick it does take for them to warm up. This one does also have a little added windscreen on it. It's actually not bad. It kind of looks a little bit funky, especially from where I'm sitting. I don't know how it looks on a camera, but it feels like it's pointing right at you. But the nice thing with that is it's kind of pushing the wind straight into the brisk of my helmet, which is pushing the wind back over that. So that's actually pretty neat. I actually do like that a lot. It's not aesthetically the most pleasing thing in the world, but you know, hey, it's a BMW. It's not. These bikes have never been aesthetically pleasing. They've always just been purpose-built motorcycles. A couple of quick things about this BMW specifically. It was just recently serviced. This bike only has 6,791 miles on the odometer. Again, was just recently serviced. We just put a brand new brand new back tire on this one. I had a look. Another couple of quick little quirky features. It does have 4-ways, which is nice, but you can also turn this ABS on and off, which is a pretty rare feature. As far as when you're dealing with controls on the F650GS, it does have a passing function for the light, so it just flashes your high beams. And the one kind of neat thing with this bike specifically is instead of having conventional style, you know, just 2-position things that are just flat, it has these like almost like roll levers here. Everyone messes up. I've had a couple people that have looked at this bike, you know, since we've had it, and everybody kind of looks at it like, what the heck's going on there? But it is just a roll style thing. Horn button. That's a cute little horn on it for sure. Heated grip function, start button, and then outside of that, you have these 2 controls here for, again, your ABS and your 4-ways, but that's it. So, and that's pretty neat. I do have these grips on the, they have 2 settings. I have them on the highest setting, and I mean, my right hand, I haven't had my left hand on the grip very much, but my right hand, I can already feel that grip kicking in. So however far we are into this video is how long it takes for these grips to get some heat into them, which is pretty nice. It does also help that these do have hand deflectors there, so that is going to be helpful in keeping the wind off of your hands too. So bang this right real quick. As far as the ride on this thing, it is super low, and you can feel the lowness of the seat height just as you're riding around on this thing. Like right now, like I just do feel sunken in and low. So myself being a taller person, it's not something that I necessarily need in a bike. I mean, I'm comfortable in seat heights even up to 36 inches, so it's not necessarily something that I look for, but it is nice that it's there, and it does make it easier to ride, especially if this thing didn't have this core pack on it. You could just swing your leg right over this thing, no issue at all. When you're looking at these bikes, I think again a lot of people are looking at them for either, you know, a more comfortable commuter for a first bike, for a second bike, if somebody's just looking for an enduro style bike. And no matter what kind of buyer you are of those, or ones I didn't even mention, this bike is going to be pretty well set up for you. We're going to go ahead and pull over here quick. This bike is going to be pretty well set up for you as far as being A, price point wise, and B, you know, comfort wise. Okay, yeah, that's what that was. Sorry, just looking at the gauges here. So it does have oil light, coolant light, ABS light, which I'm not sure how that works. I'll figure that out though. Also the gas light there. One weird thing is your oil fill is here. That is not a gas tank, and then your fuel tank is on the right hand side there. So that's a couple little weird things with this, but we'll let this car go past and we'll give you guys a casual 0 to 60. I'm not gonna beat on the bike too heavy. Snippy little unit, especially for a big single like that. The only other bikes that I've ever dealt with that have a big single is in a 650 form is a Savage 650. A buddy of mine who actually helps me out in my shop sometimes, and he goes down to Bike Week with us every year. He has a Savage 650, and I mean that thing's always done well. I mean, we don't go out and try and, you know, break land speed records with it or anything, but his is all custom up, and it's a good running bike. I think he likes that bike a lot. So nothing wrong with the big single. Just a whole lot of piston in there. That's it. As far as the handling of this bike, these things handle great. I didn't really get a chance to take you guys out anywhere, but this is not my first ride on this thing. I did take it down the road right when we got it in, just to kind of get a feel for it. But what if I take you guys here, Chris? We'll just go bang a little back real quick just to show you that. that ease of turning that this bike does have. And that's really the couple things that make a dual sport or an enduro style bike really stick out is just the comfort of them. The seating position, I mean, especially with this one being so low, but the seating position is always nice and upright, almost like you were sitting on a kitchen chair. And you know, just the handling, especially on back roads. And then too, you do have that option as long as you so long as you equip it with a nice tire like that, you always have that option too. If you know there's a dirt road or a trail, you can safely take these on those paths, and you know, the bike's built for it, and the bike's also, when you equip it right, is capable of going on those. I know over in Europe especially, these are really popular bikes. I mean, at least they were. I don't know necessarily if they are still running this model anymore. They probably have updated that to the newer models from BMW, but they're extremely popular over there. They have like off-road parks where you can either bring your enduro bikes or you can actually go rent them. And they have almost like BMW actually has their own as well, where you go in, it's that, you know, their bikes, and you know, they have simulated trails for like desert, simulated trails for like different off-roading situations. And these are really popular bikes over there, and there's a lot of guys who have bikes, and the cool thing with that is they ride the bike there, they ride the bike while they're there, and then they ride the bike home. And you know, they're built for it. There's one big misconception that goes with BMW, and that's that they're expensive. Now, granted, the parts are going to be a little bit more expensive if you're buying OEM BMW parts. But once these bikes get into the point where there is aftermarket support from companies like K&N, companies like, we're just going to run this light. When there is aftermarket support from companies like K&N, companies like MGO, you know, and you start to get into those aftermarket maintenance supports from other companies, you can save money on those parts. A K&N air filter for a BMW or a K&N oil filter for a BMW is no different price than a K&N oil filter or air filter for a Yamaha. So you only are going to pay a big price tag things for OEM parts. And again, there's a lot of situations where you can avoid having to buy OEM. Now, if you're going to take it to a BMW dealer for service, I don't think it's really I don't really think it's much more expensive than anything, even like if you were to take your Yamaha to a Yamaha dealer, or Honda to a Honda dealer, Suzuki to a Suzuki dealer. And it's especially no more expensive than taking your Harley Davidson to a Harley dealership. You know, any franchise dealership, they carry big labor price tags on their service work. So, you know, that's how it goes. But man, this bike just rides really nice. The only thing I don't like is, and I think it's just because I am pretty tall and the seat is so low, it is a little bit cumbersome to hit different pedals on it, and it's just in part due to, I think, where my footing position is at. So obviously, if this is a bike that was my own, I could keep. Those are things that I could easily switch around and change. But seeing as this one's for sale, and typically these are gonna be for lower riders. But yeah, I mean, this thing just on the back road is just beautiful. This is actually the first time I've ever been on this road too, so it's right by my shop, but I don't know where it is. But really pretty road. Love hearing that. The acceleration, that's one thing with a big single like this. You really can hear the motor, and it really makes everything sound good. What the fuck did I... Oh, no shit. Schaefer Road? How far on Schaefer Road? Okay. We're just gonna flip a U here quick. We'll just bang back through this road. Those dual sport tires, those on off-road tires. I mean, now the back tire is what in my shop we would call a 70% on-road use, 30% off-road use tire. and the front tire is still from the original owner, the guy that we got this bike from, and he had it as, just because that's all he could get, he said, was a 60% on-road, 40% off-road tire. So even with those tires on though, man, this thing handles really nice in the back on the turns here. I'm really impressed. If I didn't like my new VMAX I just got so much, maybe this would be the bike that I would decide to park in my garage. I mean, and again, I mean, it is a 650, so I have that in mind. I mean, you're not gonna have, you know, one wheelie, you know, ripping the front wheel off the ground in second and third gear potential on this bike. I mean, if you wanted to get it up, I'm sure you could, but it's just a nice bike. It's a fun bike, and honestly, a 650 is a really good CC range for riding on the road. When you have a 1000cc sport-inspired bike, you can't even use all those CCs on the road. So that's one reason why those middleweight CC bikes are so popular, because I mean, a lot of guys want to start on a bike and they don't want to have to buy a bike in 3 months when they've already outgrown it. So another compliment I do want to give it, and this is kind of a double-edged sword. In this area in here doesn't look hateful, but it's just typical BMW stuff. It's not necessarily like, you don't look at it and go, wow, look how fit and finished all this is. It kind of looks thrown together, and that's kind of how BMW, especially on these bikes, has always been. But my arms are in a really comfortable position, my wrists are in a really comfortable position. That's one of the biggest places I struggle with on motorcycles, is the hand position, just because I do, my wrists tend to lock up on me if I'm in the wrong position after too long. And I could ride this bike for a couple hours because I don't have any pain coming in my wrist at all right now. So I would be willing to bet I could ride this bike for a couple hours if I wanted to and I had the time. But unfortunately I don't. So as we're on the way back in here into the shop, if you made it this far with me, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate everyone that watches these videos, the comments you guys leave, and the great response and love, for the most part, that YouTube and YouTubers have shown us here. But if you can, hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this BMW F650GS test ride video. And as always, hit the subscribe button. You can stay up to date with everything we do at Siegfried's Motorworks. We do walk-arounds on all the units we sell. We do test rides on all the units we sell. We also do